This is a Redditor named Sage Lacan. Sage Lacan posts in quite a few different subreddits. He's a tech bro that posts in sysadmin. He's from a place called Norman, Oklahoma. And he has a couple interests besides video games and system administration. He has an issue finding health insurance, and he has an issue finding a reason why his girlfriend has left him and filed a domestic violence order against him. So it starts out. Sage Lacan 3 years ago says, my fiance has symptoms of psychotic episodes but refuses help. Without going into huge backstory, I'll just say that sometimes when she takes certain medications, and she's on a lot of them because she has terminal lupus, I don't think that's true. It's never lupus, chat. She has about 9 of the 10 symptoms on this list. I don't know which med it is, but I suspect it's oxy. She gets paranoid, delusional, irritable, irrational, angry, emotionally abusive. Me and her teenage kids attempt to stage an intervention. Last night to help her, but she refuses to accept that there is anything wrong. So even though we tell her something is wrong medically and it's not really her fault and this isn't her, she hears it and assumes we're wrong with the medical part, so we are blaming her for it. My therapist called the police on her last night when a pistol came up missing in the house. Now, it didn't have a magazine and it cannot be fired without it, but there's no situation where a missing pistol does not escalate everything. She claims she was scared, so I was going to do something to her or her daughters. I'll leave it there. He says, by the way, that usually she breaks up with me during these episodes, but doesn't mean it, and then we get back together. Then, oh, this is from 4 years ago, so this is actually in the wrong order. My girlfriend broke up with me this week. She told me that it was partly because of my anxiety, that I need to get that under control. I'm not sure what to think. I've been struggling to get BCBS to fix their servers so I can use my insurance to get help, but even with my help, it's hardly going to be a magical cure. So a troon with social anxiety in the tech industry working in Oklahoma in a relationship with someone who has fucking lupus and is dying and is also psychotic because of their medications. However, this may be complicating matters in their relationship and their ability to empathize with their partner and their situation, because as he says, I have no capacity for empathy. It is what it is. I can understand on an objective level that someone is in a saddening or emotionally difficult time, but I have no ability to understand that emotionally, even if it's something I have been through. Sometimes this makes me wonder if I don't really care about people, but it happens with people I definitely do. I think it's because most of my emotional experiences are so different to others that I have no frame of reference. So this person should definitely watch the iDubbbz video about how to level up skill acquire empathy so that he can start to be more of a human being. But his concerns lie elsewhere. And this was actually 5 years ago. So we can pin the transition somewhere in the last 5 years, because in this dating over 30 subreddit, so apparently at some point as a 35-year-old man, he gets into a relationship with a woman who has lupus and is dying and also has teen children, which you probably shouldn't procreate if you have a terminal genetic fucking illness. That says, I take terrible pictures of myself. Should I get someone to take better pictures of me? I don't think I'm a bad looking guy at all, maybe a 6. However, photography isn't my skill whatsoever, so all my photos make me look like a 2 or a 3 XD. I can't imagine this is making my luck in old any better. Should I actually have someone take decent pictures of me? Should I pay a photographer? What would you guys have done? So let me reorganize the timeline here. Dating over 30, 35-year-old man gets into a relationship with a bipolar woman who has lupus, who freaks out all the time, threatens to break up with him, and then hides firearms. Someone that he admits he has no capacity of empathy for. And then now, this year, should I get a new therapist? Short background, I'm assigned male at birth and trans, but unsure of actual gender. So I guess non-binary for now. I have a feminine side. She has a name. And when I am her, I am a bisexual woman. I am in a relationship with a bisexual woman. Medically, I haven't undergone anything, but currently trying to get with an endo to discuss options for dealing with body and facial hair form from a hormonal standpoint. I am male presenting in public and to all but a very select few of my closest friends and family. Recently, I began to realize how much I love making love with my partner as a woman. It is completely different from when I was totally male, and it's awesome. The focus is different. The emotions of it are all different. It's erotic, but in new, beautiful ways than what we had had. It really helps that she genuinely thinks I'm attractive as a woman. What girl doesn't want to feel sexy, pretty, and desired? Earlier today, I told my therapist I like having sex as a woman with a woman. She was surprised and replied, "How does that work? Because you're still technically a male." Now, I'm 95% sure that there was no malice or insensitivity intended with the question, but it's still insensitive as best. He doesn't explain. He says that he can't even explain to a normal person what it's like, what he means by saying that he has sex as a woman. And he says that the therapist is inexperienced and he can't even like describe what the fuck he's talking about. Pegged? I mean, just say that then. Really bizarre. But this is actually in the present. I wonder if this is what finally ended their relationship, or maybe it was the violence. I won't read all of this, but I'll read the title. My ex-fiance was granted an emergency no contact violence protective order against me, and mine was rejected without me being able to speak to the judge. Her request was entirely false, and she literally beat herself up to make it look like I did. Immediately after that, she resumed texting me. So he's saying that his terminally ill 30-something-year-old fiance, ex-fiance, who has lupus, who is fucking dying, beat him as a man and sexually and verbally abused him, has been triggering his PTSD to use it against him, has gone on the internet to cyberbully him and make fun of his sexual preferences, and then follow him room to room bullying him. And the judge refuses to help him keep this terribly dangerous lupus woman away from him. And he just can't defend himself at all. But she's able to get a restraining order against him, and he thinks that's very unfair. Ooh. The Norman, Oklahoma Police Department told me that they would arrest me if I call them about my crazy abusive ex trespassing, and I said I should give in to her blackmail demands. I don't even know anymore. My story is a long story. My ex is emotionally, mentally, physically, and sexually abusive. She has done things like threatening to file a false VPO against me if I took steps to protect myself, and then she beat herself up after I left the property under police supervision and claimed I did. The court believed her. Threatened to release revenge pornography of me and expose my sexual preference to my family and to the public. Stolen both of my vehicles. Broke into my company's office. Destroyed thousands of dollars of equipment. She did this with a witness, my brother, and then lied about it in court, thus committing perjury, threatened to file false police reports of rape or whatever else to get me in trouble, and has attempted to do so. Attempted to injure my animals and their well-being to do something that would get him arrested. Punched me in the groin on video and with 2 witnesses because I wouldn't give her a whole bottle of narcotics. The police told me I was asking for it. Wow, I wonder if this story is complete and total bullshit. Doesn't it sound like complete and total bullshit to you, chat? I'm just getting complete and total bullshit vibes reading this fucking story. After this, I was no longer allowed to tell this woman no. I slept when and where she allowed me to, had sex when she wanted me to. I was trapped. The Norman PD empowered her to do that to me. After a huge battle, I managed to get a VPO against her for a while, and that helped. But my ex continued to blackmail me into paying for her phone and phone bill. Today, my order was dismissed because the judge thinks it's more about property than domestic violence. I did mention the blackmail, but not because I really wanted that specific phone back, but more because I did not want to be blackmailed by my sexual abuser anymore. So after it was denied, ex started harassing me in the courthouse, asked me to give her property back. I don't have her property. She was kicked out, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Phone bill. The ex has my neighbor under the thumb and now lives across the street. So she sits in the front yard staring at me in my household. Today she saw me sitting guard out front and had a very loud and probably fictitious phone conversation calling me childish and shit, trying to talk me into doing something. I reported this to the police. They are not the only ones not doing anything. The officer I spoke to recommended I just give her what she wants to make her go away. Then the officer said I have a bench warrant for an unpaid traffic ticket, and if my ex comes on my property and they get called out, they would arrest me. So I can't call the cops by violent sexual abuse or trespass on my property because of an unpaid ticket. Pay the fucking ticket. I mean, the cop is like stunned in silence at this point. Just here's how you can fix your problems: give her fucking shit back and pay your traffic ticket. And he's like, help me, Reddit. Help me, Reddit. I'm being sexually abused and the police are complicit. Just give her her phone. And if it's like, if there's really like pictures of you and shit on it, just reformat it and give it back to her. She can throw a bitch fit, but she can't, like, you know, how is she, what is she going to do at that point? You gave her back her phone. There's only so much you can say at that point. This is the second freaking time I have been the victim of crime committed by that vile woman, and I've been told that I can't raise an issue about it or I will be arrested because you are a fucking wanted criminal in the state of Oklahoma for the dumbest shit possible. Because your dumbass, apparently your dumbass is too busy paying extortion money to pay the cops extortion money. And we should just go the speed limit. I don't know. I've been trying to get in touch with the ACLU and with my councilwoman Patron. I need a lawyer or a team of lawyers. He needs multiple lawyers. He needs the finest traffic cop in all of Oklahoma to come down and just untangle this Gordian knot with an iron fist and a sharp edge. He needs the best that money can buy, and Reddit, you need to give it to him. Jews, save me. Me and my family and her daughters, which come over to my house all the time, call me stepdad. Oh, that's fucking creepy. That's so creepy. My family and her daughters want to see justice and peace. I just want my abuser to not be able to taunt me across the street, to not blackmail me. I'm tired of fighting this ridiculous fight. I can never get rid of the scars she gave me. I had PTSD before I even got with her. Now I don't even know. But I'd like to try and at least get on with my life. Please. I'm probably missing a bazillion details. I'm sorry. I'm exhausted. Physically, mentally, and emotionally. I feel physically ill now. My memory doesn't work very well lately. Probably trying to make me forget the past year. Oh my God. Someone get him his lawyers so that he can pay his traffic ticket. Hey, why don't you just ask for the money to pay for the traffic ticket? Like, if you're going to start a GoFundMe, like, right? Let's say that you're going to start a GoFundMe. Which would be the most prudent and expeditious way of resolving your issues? Crowdfunding a team of the finest lawyers of Oklahoma, or crowdfunding a parking ticket and a new phone for a crazy bitch, and maybe like a year of phone service. If that's all she wants, that's easy. One more, though. Oh. I read this already. That's it. Okay, good. That's a good send off. Now, chat. I have cleverly disguised this as my usual, traditional past 2 weeks Reddit segment where I pull out a random person and bully them. But I have fooled you. It is but a ruse, chat. This is actually the executive personal assistant of Liz Fong Jones and the person responsible for the email campaign against my data centers, service providers, and all of their families. This is the person that Liz Fong Jones finances, and their immense lack of empathy and personal responsibility to help conduct his email campaign on his behalf. Isn't that something, chat? Isn't that something that a psycho tranny got money problems? Just suck ass. Just suck ass to Liz Fong Jones, and we'll figure a way out of this. Hey buddy, I heard you got a traffic ticket that's causing you some issues. I heard you need a new telephone, buddy. If you want to write some emails for me, buddy, if you want to be my executive personal assistant, You just have to say that I'm the snakiest snake girl that you've ever seen. That I'm a real snake. And you just gotta write those emails, buddy. Now I want to actually show you something. Where is? I want a picture. I'm such a fool. I'm such a fool, chat. I want to show you a picture of him. This is it. This is the Twitter account. Cat the Sage, activist, writer, editor, music lover, poet, bard, sister, ethereal leader, she, her, trans woman, 40-ish. It looks like they took out executive assistant to Liz Fong Jones. Maybe they got fired. But here you go. This is the face behind the Reddit account writing about how unfair life is because he can't pay his fucking traffic tickets. Saying that he desperately needs the look at that man hand. That hand is the hand of an ogre that could wrap it around the neck of a little dainty lupus girl and just squeeze what remaining life force out of her without any issues whatsoever. And I'm expected to believe that thanks to the systematic cishet white supremacist police force in Norman, Oklahoma, they are incapable of defending themselves. Really shocking stuff. Denying equal rights to another group of human beings based on your religious beliefs is still called bigotry. Actually, it's called based. Oh, look, it's literally me. It's literally me right now. Ugh, it's literally me. It's me. I look just like that. Look at how big her hands are. Literally me. If you dare to question a gaslighter, you will be doused with emotional gasoline. You'll be told that you're ungrateful, selfish, paranoid, and crazy. You'll be reminded of how stupid, nonsensical, and overly emotional you are. Nothing is off limits to a gaslight narcissist, and within a short time, the fire will have created burns deep within your mind, body, and soul. I think that this is their post addressing the fact that they got called out for being a domestic abuser. Sometimes you make mistakes. I made quite a few this week. Eating crow is not fun, but I need to own up to mistakes I have made and apologize to the people that it's affected. I swear to God, though, that they had a thing saying that they worked for Liz Fong Jones. Oh, so before this got out and he started talking about how it feels like to be gaslit and how bigots, he was talking about how I want to fuck a fox girl unprotected.